How much of what you're working on or what might be in the future is nanotechnology a part of?
We don't work on nanotechnology per se, but
Okay.
there are certainly very respected scientists working in the area of what's often called molecular manufacturing, the creation of things that are a bit like enzymes or bigger machines in the body, but which are not made out of proteins the way the body naturally is. Instead, they're made out of hardware, really, out of non-biological material. The theoretical basis for that technology is very solid, very sound. It's highly likely, in my view, that in the distant future, we will have an increasing ability to exploit non-biological solutions to medical problems, especially as this miniaturization process progresses. And that eventually it could easily be that those non-biological interventions dominate. They become the major thing that we do. But I do think that we're a lot further off from having any of those interventions really working than we are from the straightforward biotechnological approach that Sense Research Foundation is following. Okay. Now, I should say that the miniaturization aspect is the key there, because of course there are non-biological solutions to medical problems that are macroscopic, that are already in place and indeed are improving all the time. Obviously, we've had glasses for a long time, that's an example. We've also had cochlear implants, which are really the way to treat certain types of deafness, and those are getting better all the time, so much so that people are now talking about cochlear implants actually giving people better hearing than normal. Of course, we've got artificial hearts, we've got all manner of different things. So definitely, I'm not in any way dismissing the non-biological component of medical research.
Can you explain the nanotechnology a little bit, though, and what the theories behind that is?
Well, nanotechnology, or I need to be careful with the terminology here, because the word nanotechnology was first used to describe what you're asking about, molecular manufacturing, but now it's often used it's bundled together with something which is really materials science, nanomaterials, where one is not actually putting atoms together in a precise way, the way that Eric Drexler and others proposed 20 or 30 years ago, but rather one is simply doing materials science. So molecular manufacturing is all about precisely positioning atoms in a form that makes not just a simple crystal structure, like a diamond, for example, but a structure that's been designed. So, in other words, you can make actual machines of the sort that we would have today with gears and such like, but at the absolutely tiny scale, at the scale of nanometers. The average atom is maybe, a tenth of a nanometer across, and atoms are maybe 1 nanometer apart in a typical molecule. And so putting them together one by one sounds pretty laborious, really, doesn't it? But the thing about molecular manufacturing is that one can accelerate the rate of this by doing an enormous amount of the assembly in parallel. And a lot of the designs that have been done have taken this into account and have shown that realistically one should be able to actually construct these tiny machines that are, a millionth of a meter across or less, without actually having to wait until like 1,000 years from now.